To the chosen one, be still and let your spirit become alert. A divine hour is drawing near, an hour that was written in the heavens long before you knew you were waiting. Tomorrow may appear ordinary on the surface, but in the unseen realm, it is a sacred turning point. What is coming is not random, it is orchestrated by the Most High, and it is coming for you. As C.S. Lewis wrote in Mere Christianity, God is not hurried along in the time stream of this universe any more than an author is hurried along in the imaginary time of his own novel. This truth underscores the divine precision of this moment. Tomorrow's encounter, though it appears sudden, is God's timeless orchestration, aligning your life with His eternal purpose, crafted before you were aware of its approach. Heaven has watched your soul grow weary. Every silent prayer, every hidden tear, every whispered question in the night has risen like incense before the throne. You asked for something real, something that would finally bring clarity, truth, and rest. That answer is no longer delayed. It is being delivered, not through a miracle of thunder and fire, but through the arrival of a person, a soul, someone being divinely sent into your space. Understand this clearly. Tomorrow is not coincidence. It is alignment. It is the moment when heaven meets earth in your story. What you have longed to understand about love, about purpose, about what is meant for you, will begin to take shape. This is your hour. You must not miss the signs, for the heavens have spoken, and what they have decreed cannot be undone. If this message stirred your spirit, it's not a coincidence. Heaven is confirming you are the one. Comment, I receive it 77 as a prophetic sign. 77 means divine alignment. Let it be written. You are ready, you are seen, you are chosen. There is a man whose soul has been stirred from the depths, his thoughts disrupted, his peace undone, his direction seized by a force higher than his will. He has not come to this moment lightly. He has battled in secret with voices he could not silence. He tried to forget you. He tried to move on. He tried to reason with his own heart, to bury what still burned in the dark. But what he could not see was that heaven had placed a seal on your connection, something sacred, something unresolved, something that refused to die. His inner war was not simply emotional, it was spiritual. For days and nights, the weight of unspoken words, unanswered questions, and hidden regret gnawed at him like a hunger that could not be fed. The more he ran, the more the path bent back toward you. The more he tried to erase your name from his spirit, the more it echoed louder within him. Because this is not about human love alone. This is about unfinished kingdom business, about alignment, restoration, and obedience to a divine timetable that he can no longer delay. See, Lewis in The Four Loves wrote, friendship is born at that moment when one person says to another, "What? You too? I thought I was the only one." This insight captures the sacred echo in his soul. His persistent thoughts of you are heaven's recognition of a shared divine purpose, drawing him back to fulfill the unfinished business of your connection, ordained by God's eternal plan. He is not coming tomorrow out of impulse. He is not seeking comfort or closure for himself. He is being summoned. The timing has been chosen not by him, not by you, but by the hand of the Almighty. What is unfolding is not a reunion. It is a divine intervention, a sacred appointment, a moment written in eternity, now being manifested in time. Do not mistake his hesitation for weakness. He has walked through fire to reach this point. His pride has been shattered. His plans have crumbled. And all that remains is the truth he can no longer deny. That something in you, something holy, called him back. He may stand before you looking unsure, but heaven sees him as one who has finally surrendered. When he arrives, do not look only at his face. See the warfare behind his eyes. See the trembling in his soul. He comes with a burden that has been weighing on him for longer than you know. He comes not as a stranger, not as a wanderer, but as one who has been divinely redirected for your sake. Heaven has halted his steps, rerouted his journey, and pointed him back toward the place where something divine was left unfinished. This is not casual. This is not sentimental. This is a holy summons, and when he knocks, you must recognize that it is not his hand alone, it is the hand of God behind it. When he appears, it will not feel dramatic. There may be no thunder, no flashing light, no grand arrival. It may look quiet, so quiet, in fact, that you may be tempted to dismiss the moment as ordinary. But beware, heaven often cloaks the miraculous in stillness. The divine does not always roar. Sometimes it knocks gently. And this is one of those moments. The sacred will come clothed in simplicity. Do not let your natural eyes deceive you. You may not recognize his voice at first, or the way he shifts uncomfortably, or how he searches for the right words but finds none. He may pause at your door. He may open his mouth and then close it again. His hands may tremble. His eyes may lower. Do not rush to fill the silence. Do not interrupt what heaven is doing with the noise of human instinct. The pause is not empty. It is divine. In that silence, the Spirit of God will be speaking more powerfully than words. He carries with him a message, but it will not be wrapped in perfect sentences. It may come in fragments, in stumbles, in broken honesty. Let it, for God is not sending him to perform. He is sending him to confess, to reveal, to release what has been buried for too long. This is not a man returning for comfort. This is a man carrying the weight of obedience. His words may falter, but his presence alone will speak volumes. You will feel the shift in the atmosphere. You will sense the trembling of time being touched by eternity. There may be something in his hands, a letter unsent, a gift never delivered, a small token from the past that survived the fire. But do not focus on the object. The true meaning is spiritual. It is not about what he brings. It is about what heaven is bringing through him. His presence is the sign. His return is the signal. And the timing is confirmation that the hand of God has been moving behind the scenes, even when you saw nothing. Be warned. This is not merely an emotional reunion. This is a prophetic collision. Two lives, two journeys, two wounds, meeting at the exact intersection ordained by the Most High. Treat this encounter as holy, for in the space between your eyes, meeting and his words spoken, the Lord will dwell. The air itself will carry the fragrance of divine timing. The weight in the room will be more than emotion. It will be the presence of God pressing upon both of you with quiet power. This is not a second chance born from nostalgia. It is a door opened by the keyholder himself, and what he opens, no man can shut. To the chosen one, do not prepare your defenses. Do not rehearse your answers. Do not cloak yourself in the armor of past pain. What is coming does not require performance. It requires presence. Heaven is not asking you to be perfect, but to be available. The Spirit does not seek eloquence from your lips, only honesty from your heart. You have been strong for so long, carrying your silence like a shield, hiding your softness beneath layers of wisdom and caution. But this moment does not call for survival, it calls for surrender. Not to a man, not to emotion, but to God's unfolding plan. Let the walls lower. Let the questions rest. Let your soul breathe without fear. For what is approaching is not chaos, it is divine order disguised in fragile flesh. There is no need to anticipate what he will say. The words will be imperfect, but they will be true. Even if they come slow, even if they stumble, even if they fail to capture the weight of what he feels, they will carry the fingerprint of God. Let your ears hear, but let your spirit discern. For more important than the sound of his voice will be the movement of God's Spirit between you. That is the place where truth will reside. This man carries regrets that words cannot fully express. He has sat alone in the night, staring at moments he wished he could undo, gripping silence as if it could protect him from the pain of confronting what he lost. And though he may not say all of this aloud, you must know it now, so that when he struggles to speak, your heart interprets what his mouth cannot. His silence was not the absence of love, but the presence of fear. What heaven desires of you is not blind trust, but holy openness. You are not being asked to forget, nor to surrender your discernment. You are simply being asked to remain present long enough to witness what God is doing. In this sacred encounter, there will be healing, even if no apology is perfect. There will be clarity, even if not every question is answered. There will be movement, even if the path beyond remains uncertain. For in this meeting, a seed is being planted, one that heaven has watered with tears, longing, and divine timing. And so, chosen one, remain still. Remain soft. Remain listening. This is not a disruption, it is a divine appointment. Treat it as sacred, for the Lord himself is the one who has ordained it. C. S. Lewis, in the Screwtape Letters, wrote, "There is no neutral ground in the universe. Every square inch, every split second, is claimed by God and counterclaimed by Satan. This truth unveils the spiritual weight of this encounter. The stillness of this moment is God's claim on your destiny, a sacred pause where heaven's purpose prevails over the enemy's attempts to disrupt, ensuring your alignment with divine truth. He will not come wearing confidence. He will come clothed in the weight of what he did not say, in the sorrow of what he could not fix, and in the silence that once separated you. But know this, he is not coming empty. He carries within him a heart that has been refined, not by ease, but by consequence. He is not the same man who walked away. The wilderness has done its work. The breaking has birthed clarity. The distance has deepened the ache, and that ache has brought him to your door. What he says may surprise you. It may even wound you in small ways, not because it is cruel, but because it is raw. There are truths that he only recently found the courage to face within himself, and speaking them aloud will feel like walking barefoot on sacred ground. He may not tell you everything. He may leave gaps in the story, but trust that the words he does share are the ones heaven has permitted him to release at this time. There may be a moment when silence falls again, when the conversation stumbles into stillness, and both of you feel suspended between what was and what could be. Do not rush past that silence. Do not fill it with noise. In that stillness, God will speak to both of you, not in words, but in knowing. In that breath, the divine will press upon your hearts a peace that transcends understanding, and a knowing that this moment is not about resolution, it is about revelation. He does not come to rewrite the past, nor to erase what has already been etched into memory. He comes to acknowledge it, to face what he once feared, to speak what he once buried. That act alone is a step toward healing, even if no promises are made, even if no future is guaranteed. His arrival is not the fulfillment, it is the first crack in the walls that kept both hearts apart for too long. And that crack, however small, is where the light will begin to enter. Chosen one, do not measure this encounter by words alone. Measure it by presence, by sincerity, by the tremble in his voice and the humility in his eyes. This is not about perfection, it is about obedience. He is coming because something holy told him, now is the time. And he obeyed. That in itself is a miracle. That in itself is enough to begin. What approaches is not merely a conversation between two souls, it is a collision of destinies shaped by divine hands. The atmosphere surrounding this meeting is charged with meaning, invisible to most, but undeniable to those attuned to the Spirit. Heaven has aligned this moment with precision. Every delay, every tear, every detour was not wasted. It was preparation for this sacred intersection. Understand, chosen one, that this is not about a man seeking redemption for his own comfort. It is about a heavenly order being restored. Something was fractured, not only between two hearts, but within the spiritual alignment of your calling. And now, what was scattered is being gathered again, not to return to what was, but to birth what could not exist until both of you were ready. Until both of you had been refined. You have often asked why certain doors closed, why people walked away, why you were left carrying the weight alone. And though the answers were hidden then, now the veil begins to lift. Some were not meant to stay because they were not equipped to walk beside the calling on your life. But this man, this one returning, has been dealt with by heaven. He was not just delayed, he was detained, held back by divine restraint until the time appointed by God was fulfilled. Now the fullness of time has come. The door he will walk through tomorrow is not of human making. It is a door that no one can shut, because it has been opened by the one who holds the keys to all things. What you must understand is this: the sacred is not always loud. Sometimes it arrives in silence, on tired feet, with hesitant words, and a heart that has finally stopped running. This is not the culmination of your journey. This is the unveiling of a hidden thread that has run quietly beneath it all, a thread God has been weaving into the tapestry of your story from the beginning. And tomorrow, a corner of that design will be revealed. Handle it with reverence. Do not look with natural eyes alone. Discern. Listen deeply, for heaven is speaking, not only through the man, but through the moment itself. The Lord has declared, "What I have joined in purpose, No distance can sever, no silence can destroy, and no fear can erase. Tomorrow is not an accident, it is holy ground. Stand in it barefoot, undefended, undistracted, and wholly present, for the divine is near. You, chosen one, were never selected for comfort, but for significance. You have carried the weight of discernment when others walked in confusion. You have endured seasons of silence without answers, held your heart in stillness when it begged to be heard. And now, that endurance is meeting its moment. What heaven is bringing to your door is not a test, it is a turning. You were not mistaken when you saw something in him that others could not. Your spirit recognized him before your mind understood why. You saw through the noise and the masks and the delay, and what you saw was real. But heaven required more than sight. Heaven required you to wait. And while you waited, the fire refined you. While he ran, you grew. And now, what was once imbalanced is finding its alignment. He will not return to the same version of you he once knew. The girl he left behind has become the woman God has established. And though the past may flicker in his memory, the present will confront him with something altogether more powerful: your spiritual authority, your emotional wholeness, and your divine identity. He may arrive carrying regret, but you will carry light. Do not let fear speak louder than faith. Do not let past wounds dictate how you receive what God is sending. This is not about returning to what was. This is about stepping into what heaven had always intended, but could only unfold when both hearts had been made ready. If tears rise, let them flow. If joy breaks in unexpectedly, do not suppress it. Whatever emotion emerges, allow it. For in the authenticity of your presence, God will move. He does not require perfection, he requires availability. The miracle is not in the man alone, it is in the space God has carved between you for something holy to land. This moment is not the restoration of old dreams. It is the unveiling of a divine reality long hidden. What was once broken is not simply being mended, it is being repurposed. You are not here to relive the past. You are here to steward the sacred. And in doing so, you will not only find clarity, you will become the vessel through which heaven writes a new chapter on the earth. So do not shrink. Do not hesitate. Stand tall in who you have become. Speak only what the Spirit allows. Move only when the peace descends. For tomorrow is not about what you will say, but about what God will reveal through your stillness, through your listening, through your readiness. The chosen must now stand in her fullness, for the time of unveiling has come. There were nights when you felt forgotten, when your prayers seemed to vanish into silence, and your soul questioned whether your tears mattered at all. But what you did not see was that heaven was moving in realms beyond your reach. Angels were dispatched. Doors were closed not to punish you, but to protect you. Delays were permitted not to deny you, but to prepare what you could not yet handle. The silence was not abandonment. It was the sound of divine strategy unfolding. The man who returns has been through a battle invisible to human eyes. His heart has been sifted. His pride has been dismantled. He has been awakened through the very suffering that once made him numb. You may never know the full depth of what God had to break in him to bring him to this threshold. But you must understand, he is not returning out of ease. He is returning because he could not outrun the hand of God. And though he may not speak of the warfare, it clings to him like unseen ash. The nights he wept, the moments he nearly gave up, the times he reached for you in spirit, but said nothing with his lips, he carries them all. And though you longed for words during that silence, heaven was doing a work that words could never accomplish. His return is not his victory alone, it is yours too. Because you waited, because you endured, because you believed, even when nothing looked like hope. This is the fruit of spiritual obedience. This is the harvest of unseen sacrifice. You did not wither when others would have walked away. You did not curse God when the answers didn't come. And now, what heaven hid from you is being unveiled in divine sequence, not as a reward for endurance, but as fulfillment of destiny. For the chosen do not receive what is common, they are entrusted with what is eternal. Do not take this moment lightly. The warfare that surrounded this meeting was fierce, but it has been won. What stands before you now is not simply a man, it is a testimony, a living declaration that God does not forget, does not abandon, and does not lie. Every promise whispered in the night, every assurance spoken through your tears is now coming into view. and heaven declares, it was worth the wait. The pages of your life have been turning in silence, line by line, scene by unseen scene, written by a hand far greater than your own. And now, the chapter long awaited is being opened not by emotion, not by coincidence, but by divine decree. This moment is not a continuation of what once was. It is the start of what never had the chance to be born before. Not a second attempt, but a first unveiling, in its proper time, in its holy form. What is coming is not just a reunion, it is realignment. Two lives, once fractured, are now being brought into the light for the purpose of clarity, closure, and perhaps something more. But make no mistake, even if restoration blooms, it will not look like what was lost. Heaven never resurrects what is broken in its old form. It brings forth something new, something holy, something that cannot be compared to the past. And that is what stands at your door. The chosen one is not called to recycle pain, but to transfigure it. Not to rebuild old ruins, but to partner with heaven in birthing divine blueprints. This is why the process was painful. This is why the delay was long. Because what God is doing now is not shallow, emotional repair, it is deep, eternal architecture. He has not been crafting a reunion. He has been designing a revelation. When the moment arrives, and your eyes meet his across a threshold you never thought would be crossed again, let yourself feel the gravity. Do not rush to conclusions. Do not jump to old labels, for this is not yesterday returning. It is tomorrow unfolding. What you're about to step into carries the weight of assignment, the breath of destiny, and the whisper of something God has waited to release until your spirit was strong enough to carry it. This is the divine turning point, not just in a relationship, but in your story, in your identity, in your calling. The heavens have declared that the season of wandering is ending. The veil is lifting. What was hidden is being revealed. What was unfinished is being addressed. And what was meant for you will no longer be delayed. Let this truth settle in your bones. God has not forgotten you. He has prepared this moment with the precision of eternity. And now it begins. And now, to seal what heaven has spoken and to consecrate what is about to unfold, let this moment be covered in prayer. For what has been declared must also be protected, and what has been revealed must be received in the posture of reverence and surrender. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, Eternal King, Keeper of all divine appointments, we come before you in stillness, acknowledging your sovereign hand over every hour, every heart, every unfolding moment. We thank you for what has been spoken through this prophetic word, for the clarity, the warning, the promise, and the sacred weight of what is soon to arrive. Let this word not pass by as mere comfort, but let it land as instruction. Let it pierce through confusion and establish truth where there was once delay. Over the chosen one, we now declare a hedge of protection. Guard her spirit, her emotions, her perception, and her responses. Let no fear twist what you have made straight. Let no old pain drown out the new sound you are releasing in this hour. Let her discern with spiritual clarity and respond with holy stillness. Give her peace that passes understanding. Give her wisdom beyond her years. And most of all, give her a heart that remains open to what you are doing, even when it comes wrapped in trembling hands and human weakness. Father, we lift up the one who is returning. Let every step he takes be governed by your Spirit.